Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be discussing Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 3. So go ahead, grab your drink and whatever else it is that you do, and let's get into this review. Shall we? All right, so the first couple I'm going to discuss is Kevin and Tiffany. So Kevin is at home and, he's just relaxing after he drove all the way out there to see her and she didn't even get released. And he's got some whiskey on ice and a good old Marlboro menthol cigarette. Because I guess Tiffany done stressed this boy out. So, he has to relax. He has to unwind after all this shenanigans. So as he's relaxing, his phone rings and it's Tiffany. And we find out that she got in trouble for bumping and grinding with her prison girlfriend. And that's why she wasn't released. And here's the thing that kind of baffles me with this. Kevin, and not just Kevin, but men in general. So Kevin has no issue with her basically cheating on him in jail because it's with a woman, and he doesn't feel threatened, I guess, because he doesn't think that she'll leave him for a woman, which I feel like he needs to go talk to Rick, and Rick needs to tell him what Ray Dean's doing to him because it can happen. Definitely can happen. So anyway, so their conversation continues and Kevin asks if he's going to get to see her, and she kind of avoid giving him any kind of details. And so he repeats it again and she says that she doesn't know, and just that conversation stresses her out. And then she just hangs up abruptly. And so the next scene we have is Kevin and his friend, and they're at a cigar bar or something. And they're talking about Tiffany and how she doesn't want him to pick her up. And so cut across town to a whole different bar or whatever. And we have a dude named Curtis who says that Tiffany reached out to him and he's going to pick her up. And so the way that they're connected is basically she was a popular girl in high school who didn't give him the time of day. And he was, I guess, the nerd that was infatuated with her. And now that he's older, he's basically down for the thrill of the chase. Yeah, he doesn't care that she ghosted him before she went to jail. And then all of a sudden she popped up with a new Facebook and was sending him messages and trying to connect and stuff. And I feel like he should know, Curtis, you should know that she's locked down. So yeah, she's gonna reach out and talk to you because obviously you have all the time in the world for her. So yeah, you played yourself a little bit. So cut back to Kevin and his friend, and his friend gives him some terrible, terrible advice. His friend tells him to pull up on her release date no matter what she said, just pull up on her, pop up on her. And I think that's just awful, terrible advice. I mean, respect the girl's boundaries. I mean, she's doing the absolute most, but still, respect her boundaries. She told you no. So that's all that happened with them. So next we have Antoine and Lacey. So Lacey goes and meets up with Antoine's mom, and on the way to the restaurant, she expresses that she's nervous because his mom likes to drink. Now, in my humble opinion, I think that Lacey and his mom used to kick it heavy, and she's probably just like his mom, but, now that she's got her a little relationship or whatever, she thinks, she's got something going for herself, when in reality, girl, you're down bad too. You left your stable relationship with your high school sweetheart for this felon who, I hate to say it, but he's probably using you, girl. But anyways, so then we have a scene of Antoine's mom at the table, and she just looks drunk out of her mind, and she's ordering another drink. And to be honest, she looks like she is nursing one of the worst hangovers ever. Like, she looks just miserable. Like, she doesn't even want to be there. Like, maybe she agreed to film that scene when she was sober, turned up all day, and now she's like, damn, let me get to this check though. So Lacey gets there and Antoine's mom just asks, what they're doing. And Lacey is just saying, like, she wants to have a future with him, yada, yada, yada. And so his mom is basically like, you know what? I know my son. He's garbage. He's going to play you. And oh, yeah, he lies to you too. So you're stupid if you want to stay with him. I know him. I raised him. He's a monster. I think that was what she called him, a monster. And so I feel like when Lacey was receiving that information, she really didn't take it seriously. She felt like his mom was jealous of their relationship and that she's just jealous. And although there's probably a little bit of truth in that, I feel like she needs to understand and take heed to what his mom is saying too, because she raised the boy, so she knows who he is at heart. And maybe she knows too that he's just not ready to settle down. Like, Lacey has lived life and he's been behind bars and he's just 27. So, yeah, I feel like she should listen to his mom. And so after Antoine's mom tells her all that information, Lacey gets mad because she doesn't like what she's hearing. And so she leaves. And that's the last we see of her on this episode. Okay, so next we have Martell and Kayla. So Martell and Kayla are leaving the hotel, and I can't tell if she got the hotel for the day or what. I sure hope she didn't get the hotel for the day. Or maybe she just went back to the room because she had a couple more hours left. I don't know. It's a little sketchy to me, but if she just got the hotel room to get it in, girl, no. You wasted your money, but she's already a fool anyways. But anyways, so Martell says that he really wanted to see his mom and niece, and, they're kind of sort of running out of time. And to be honest, I think it was kind of selfish for Kayla not to get him to his family right away. I think she should have timed it better so that he would be able to spend some quality time with them, not just, something quick, a couple minutes. So they're on their way. They're in the car. They're on their way to I don't know, Alabama or something like that. I didn't catch where they were going. Somewhere down south. So, I don't know, Alabama. To get him to the halfway house, and his phone is blowing up. Like, the show makes it seems like he's getting calls every 30 seconds. And what I want to know is, how did all those people get his number? Hasn't he only been out for like, I don't know, 4 hours? And 2 of those, he was probably being intimate with Kayla. So I don't know, unless he was able to update his Facebook profile or something. Something's not right to me. That seems a little staged. So they're driving along, and he's getting all these phone calls, and he's finally has a little break in his business. And Kayla says that she wants him to turn on his location. And in this moment, I agree with Martell, because it's a little bit absurd. He was locked up for 13 years. He was monitored. His phone calls were monitored. He couldn't really move freely. So what makes her think that he's going to want to come out and be given the same treatment, even if it isn't to the same extent? He don't want to do all that. Like, come on now. It was 13 years. Come on. Chill out, sis. So they pull up to a random parking lot, and he gets to see his niece and his mom, and you can tell that they were so excited and happy to see him, and like they couldn't stop smiling. And I just thought it was really, really sweet. And I'm glad that, even though they had to meet in a parking lot, Kayla, I'm glad that he was able to see them, because you could tell like he was so happy to see them. I don't know what his niece's situation is, but she was happy to see her uncle too. Like, it was finally like they were reunited. So that was nice to see. And another thing too, though, before I move on, I don't know if it was just me, but Kayla seemed a little bit standoffish with his family, and it just seemed weird to me. I don't know. I just think it's a red flag when, he's having this moment where he's released, he's reunited with them. They're excited, they're crying, and like she was just standing there, like no reaction or anything. Like, I don't know, maybe I would have been moved to like maybe like a tear or two, or maybe joined in or been smiling and nodding like, yes, get that time in. Just, but she was just standing there, and that was weird. And I think at one point his mom may have been asking her a direct question and she didn't even answer. Red flag. That's rude. That's rude. She knows better. So anyways, after he meets with his family and gets some of the good food that his mom brought him, she drops him off at the halfway house. And to me, it seems like they're both hiding stuff from each other. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but they're not being truthful with one another, and it shows. Okay, so next up we have Taylor and Chance. So we pick up where they left off. Taylor is driving home, and we hear how Chance wants to change his life. And so they're in the car talking, and Bobby comes up in the conversation. Bobby is Taylor's twin sister. And Chance has the nerve to ask if she has a job. And he also feels like he has some kind of like authority in their home. And again, where do these inmates get off thinking that they run something? They're not paying no bill. Like you literally just got out of jail. You're still in your jail prison garments, and you're trying to have some authority over their situation. Red flag, red flag, red flag. So they finally make it home, and Bobby and Chance meet, and he's basically selling himself to her and saying how he plans to help out and he's there to be a part of the family and not tear it apart. And my memory is correct. I remember him saying that he wanted to put Bobby in the garage or whatever so that they could have their time. And I'm glad that Bobby can see right through him. And she heard what he was saying to Taylor about putting her in the garage. So yeah, I'm glad she's not buying it. I'm glad she sees right through it. And hopefully, eventually, Taylor can too. So next, we have Chance meeting the girls for the first time, and it's very uncomfortable. I don't like how Taylor let him be all over the kids, and I'm really glad that the older girl was not doing all that extra. She wasn't jumping all on him. She was a little bit standoffish, which, in my opinion, was good. It's like she has her guard up, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her. And I also hate that Taylor's trying to make him their father so quickly. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I feel like she does not know this man. Like, for real, where are Chance's people at? Has he called his mom, his brother, and aunt and uncle, grandparents, anybody? Like, to me, it feels like he's plotting. He's plotting on them. He sees that they have a good situation going on, and he wants to intrude upon it. And he doesn't want Bobby there at all, because Bobby sees right through him. So he needs to get her out of the equation, or make her so uncomfortable that she chooses to leave. And I really hope that he doesn't get in Taylor's ear and really separate those two, because I think she would be doing herself a disservice. So the next scene is of Chance and Taylor. It's just this little scene, and he couldn't wait until the kids went to bed to be intimate. So they go to the closet, and I just feel like, come on now, like they're discussing their first night together. Then the next scene, and it's gross. Like the whole situation's gross. I don't even really want to talk about it, but they're ugh. Done. So the next scene we have is them picking up the girls from school, and they get home and he's playing with them outside and he's throwing them up in the air and stuff. And one of the little girls gets jealous because she's not getting as much attention as the other girl. And again, I think it was too soon to introduce this man to them, especially since it's not their dad and Taylor knows that that's something that they are missing. So to bring a man into the picture, and there's those kids that are vying for that type of attention, situations like this are going to arise, and it just wasn't a good idea in my opinion. So the last scene we have of them is Chance getting a phone call from his boss, and they're saying that his license was suspended, and I guess it's going to affect his job because he has to drive a company car. And so, he's annoyed about it, and Taylor's trying to do her best to help him out. She gets on the computer, she's click-clacking them keys, trying to figure out a solution for him. And he's just annoyed, and he's over it, and he basically tells her to get up, he'll do it himself. And I don't know, it was just aggressive, and he's saying how, he just got a job, and he's gonna lose it. And I feel like, sir, you should be happy that Taylor's friend got you the job, because not everyone has it like that. That's very much so a privilege. It's giving you don't recognize the privilege that you have. Okay? Okay. So next we have Rick and Radine. So Radine gets a 48-hour furlough for Thanksgiving, and she's going to go to her parents' house, and she's going to spend the night with Rick. And, Rick is really excited because he gets to spend the day with her, and he picks her up from the halfway house to go to her parents. And I feel bad because he's like a little kid. He's so infatuated with her, but she doesn't reciprocate it. And I don't know, Rick's grown on me, and I want more for him. I think he's growing on me. And you can also tell, too, that Radine isn't attracted to him, because when she got out and he was, like, hugging her and kissing her and whatever, she was just like, ugh, get off of me, basically. So, red flag right there. So Radine is in her confessional, and she's telling us about her past, and she's saying stuff like it's cute, like, I hit my brother, I went to jail, doing crimes is bad, or it's fun, not bad, it's fun. And at her big age, you got to get out of that mindset, like, you're too old. You're just too old to be thinking like that. So, I don't know. So, this happened too. So her phone goes off while they're in the car. And tell me why this girl pulls a phone out of her pants. Like, again, this behavior is not impressive at all. So the person on the phone she's talking to, and she's like, yeah, I love you. I love you too. And Rick is just sitting there looking like a fool. And so she finally says that it was Kay on the phone and revealed that they're dating, and Kay's not going anywhere. And poor Rick. Poor Rick. He's a little clueless, and he thought that it was just a prison thing, or just every now and then when she got a feminine urge, she wanted a feminine touch. But that's not the case, and he's caught off guard because those two are planning a future together, and now everything is up in the air. And gosh, I just feel bad for him. So Rick and Radine finally make it to Radine's family's house for Thanksgiving. And you could tell that they're all happy she's out. And, her stepmom starts crying. Her dad is crying as well, doesn't want to let her go. And, you could tell that there's just a lot of love between them. So she's in the kitchen and she's cooking with her mom, and, she lets her know that she's going to stay at Rick's for the evening because she's trying to get it in and they can't do it underneath her parents' roof, basically. So, yeah, at least she's honest. And her mom is asking her, like, do you love this man? And Radine's answer is, I have love for him. But she wants to live her best life. She wants to date around. She wants to, have multiple partners. And gosh, poor Rick. And so then you go to the living room and it's Rick and her dad sitting in there. And, he's just gushing over Radine, saying how his heart melted when he saw her walk out of the halfway house. And he's thankful for her. He has something to be thankful for on Thanksgiving. And yeah, he's just, excited, overwhelmed with emotion. But not Radine. No, Radine is in the kitchen and she's talking to her prison girlfriend. And to add insult to injury, Radine takes the phone to her dad while Rick is there and introduces them on video chat. I'm done. All right. And last and certainly least, I gotta take a drink of water for them because they do the most. Last and least, Harry and Indy. So after staying in the hotel, they go back to Lydia's house. And gosh, Indy's so dumb. She says, Harry's release didn't go as planned, but the sex was good. Girl, you are homeless. You shouldn't be worried about getting it in. You should be worried about finding a job, putting your resume on LinkedIn, updating the resume, going to a temp agency, something. You're not bringing anything in to Lydia's home right now. You are just living there. And you shouldn't be okay with that. You got you and your baby just living in somebody else's home. Do better. So they get in the house and Indy automatically right away apologizes to Lydia. And then she says, after the apology, so can I still stay here? Like, girl, go home. You shouldn't even have to grovel like that. Couldn't be me. So Lydia agrees, and I just feel like Lydia should have said, no, you and your baby need to go home. I'm protecting you from him. Go home. He don't want you like that. I got to put my foot down. Y'all got to go. But, she says yes. So after Indy apologizes, she leaves the room so Harry and Lydia can talk. And Harry is being hard-headed and he doesn't want to apologize. He says that he didn't ask for anything. He didn't ask for them to let him stay there. He didn't ask for nobody to make him food. He didn't ask for nothing, basically. So he doesn't feel bad about it. So they go back and forth, and, it just gets heated. They're over-talking each other, and Harry gets up and he just slams the door. Again, Indy, take your baby and flee. It is not too late, beloved. You can go. You have options. Your mom will come get you. Go. So Harry cools off and he comes back and he talks to his sister. And you can tell that he's just a young boy who messed up and feels stuck. When he's explaining his life choices and how it affected his life, he seemed like he wanted to cry. It seemed like he maybe had some regret and that, he knows what he did to himself, and maybe even he places a little bit of blame on his family too, like that coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, had you been home more, I wouldn't have had to do this, or had that man not been in the house, I wouldn't have been just stuff like that. So, yeah, I hope he gets it together. So anyways, it's later in the day or something, and Harry goes to his friend's house that was with him in the halfway house. And they're talking, and Harry basically tells his friend that he doesn't know what he wants to do. He loves Indy, but he feels like running. And I hope Indy watched this episode back and sees how foolish that she looks. This is a little boy. I think Harry thought that this was something that was going to be online, some TikTok thing, and he'd be able to finesse her out of some money and stuff. And then she didn't go away. And the fact that he's admitted to her that he's cheated on her and she caught him, yet she's still there. It says a lot about her. And not even to defend Harry, but mentally he hasn't matured yet. And that's not even from a personal stance. That's from a scientific stance. His brain's not fully developed. He's 24. I think it's like 26 when your brain's fully developed. So yeah, I feel like in this situation, Indy You're the adult and you need to do better. And that's all I got. All right, bye. I'm done.